marveling about the things that we probably don't know. Can't hurt to join us and see where this random chit-chat goes. All aboard from the Toast Train Show.
Oh, lovely cup of tea.
Thank you.
Hey! All right, should we do a round of applause? We never do that, do we?
Yay!
Yeah.
But we always start with, hey!
It's a habit now, but we've got to carry on doing it.
Yeah,
So
I know.
welcome to what, episode 8?
7.
8? 7?
7. No, it's 8.
It's 8.
Oh,
Eight.
it says 7 on here, ads.
Nice. Oh, we
Well,
can
I
change that
messed
after.
up. That's
Don't
all
worry about it. So
Welcome to episode 8 of the Toast Train with me, Rob Jones, and...
me, Amy Templey.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's a pretty mega show, actually. What is going on?
I'm looking forward to this one. So, he is 66 years old, a working psychic medium, ex-bouncer, and has a best-selling book called Medium Rare.
Which is the best book name ever. Right, he is married to Rob's sister, Nikki, who, when you got married, didn't she just have the most beautiful wedding dress that you've ever seen of all time?
She did.
Whose fault was that?
Rob's.
Mine.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
I didn't design it.
Yeah. I got her
No,
that dress.
very good. No, you've done a great
Right, so you are a Braintree local.
job.
You've been on numerous TV shows, including Big Brother,
Yeah.
correctly predicting the winner, Katie Lawler.
Yeah.
Not as a housemate, then.
No.
That was an
Oh
answer,
my
wouldn't
God,
it?
that would be amazing. You've worked overseas and you did a show in Denmark.
Yeah, for Class on TV. yeah.
Amazing.
The most watched programme that year in Denmark, evidently.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
An ex-criminal.
Yeah, it was
Bad
a bad
boy.
years ago. Yeah, yeah.
But
We'll get into that.
you're an East Londoner. That's where you hail from, but you're now up here.
Yeah, Hackney. Yeah, yeah. Living out this way for a few years now. Lived in a lot of places.
Well, we're going to get right into it, I reckon.
Right.
Also, we got, as usual, lots of music and new artists and stuff coming up as well. So we're going to throw it over to Ad to see what's coming up.
Well, we got a lot going on the show tonight, guys. We've got music from Sandman, also music from Paper Fight, and following up with music from Nathan Thomas too. Later on in the show, we've of course got Ronnie's guest toast, Amy's guessing tonight's true or false, and an insight into Ronnie Buckingham's spirit walks. That's all to come on the Toast Train.
Lovely job.
Hey.
Are we back?
Fantastic.
Are we back?
You are.
We're back. All right, wicked
Fabulous.
stuff. So that's all the faff out the way, Ron.
Right.
So for people that have no idea who you are, we've kind of already given a bio,
Yeah.
but tell us what you're about, mate. Where did it all begin?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, my career is my profession is being a medium. So basically, what I try.
Not
and
in
do-
t-shirts.
Nah, I'm an extra large in t-shirt. You can see, look, fat bastard. But no, get under the head in a medium and I'm an extra large. But no, so really what my job is to prove life after death, really, to bring people, prove that there's another world, there's another existence and that their loved ones live on. And you do that by telling people things that they know you couldn't know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always looking for the curious, the things where people go and say, how would he have known that? How would he have done that? How would he have known that? So it's just it, really. I mean, I'm not much into fortune telling. But yeah, I love what I do. And yeah, I've got a very, very big following. Been going for a lot of years, 20 odd years now. So
I think that's the problem with that craft. I can imagine, like, there's a lot of stereotype around it, you know, like Mystic Meg and all that sort of stuff.
oh,
you
there's
know,
some
It
nonsense.
must
I
ruin it.
mean, seriously, there's some terrible, terrible mediums out there, you know. And unfortunately, some of the big names are some of the worst. Not mentioning any, but people who have seen a certain person that's about 30 quid a ticket.
Yeah. Is that because they're doing the whole like smoke and mirrors and like all the smoke machines and like all the lights and you know, they're kind
Well,
of dressing it up a bit, aren't they?
Look, you know, in truth, anyone that's seen me work knows that I just very matter of fact. I am blind a little bit. That's my way. You know, I talk like that in everyday life, and that's how I do messages. It should just be plain and simple facts. You know, this is how they died. This is what their name was. Blah blah blah, and looking for things, but. You know, it's blown up out of all proportion. It's too much. I don't know. If you want to put it like they play it up a little bit, you know, like one certain medium when kids come through, she talks like a fucking kid. You know, oh mummy, here I am, mummy. It's nonsense.
Oh,
They
that's
don't
really
do
freaky,
that.
actually.
Yeah, and you see, the thing is, if you're a parent, Jesus Christ, and you have gone
Someone's
through
doing an
that
impression.
extraordinary pain of losing a child,
Worst pain.
you can't. It's just pulling on the heartstrings a little too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot put myself in the position of having lost a child. I'm incredibly lucky that my toddler terrorises me every day. But if I lost him and I went to a medium, and then he, she, whatever, were putting on a voice of him, I can't imagine what that would do.
There's no
I
need for-
can't
there's no-
imagine
there's
what
no
that would
need
do. I
for
mean, it would just
showmanship.
kill you. It would just kill you.
How does some of the big names, if you like, the big TV ones and all that sort of stuff, how do they get to that position? Like, if they are bullshit, if you know what I mean, like, because surely at some point they've got to actually prove in a way that they can do it. Because if they didn't know how to, if you know what I mean, how would
Yeah,
they?
but I suppose the difference is that you are either a medium or you are somebody who is incredibly skilled at reading people.
But you've still got to get the facts, haven't you?
Yeah, but do you, or could you be that good?
So
Could you be like Darren Brown level amazing at your craft that you can wing your way through? I mean, you know, if you're talking about people, let's say your great grandmother. Now, you know that your great grandmother is going to have been born in this time period. So she's going to be born around the turn of the century. Now, we know there aren't any women that were born in 1903 called Sharon, you know? So somebody who does their homework and somebody who is expert at reading people and has been doing it for so long and have so much smoke blown up their arse.
But that's the
that
difference
they
between
are,
what
that-
one does, though. 'Cause he doesn't do any of that.
Well, exactly. That's my point. So those people that you're talking about are that good at reading people and reading a situation and
What do you
reading
think,
the
Ron,
style.
about
See,
that?
I think Darren Brown, I think he's actually a psychic, a very good psychic, a very good medium, but he makes more money out of not being a medium.
Yeah,
Do you see
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, there's some, I mean, a few of them have passed over. And I don't want to, you know, but it was like
Don't want to talk to them now.
Well, no, but it was like Derek O'Cora and Sam. You know, there's no need to do that. What's this Sam? What's that Sam? I'm not going to knock the man. You know, he had a following. Some people say he was very good, but there's no need for it. And
Because I find your method to watch far more
Real?
like engaging. Like, you know, instead of like coming out in a cape and all that shit. Like you
there's no
literally
need for
you
that.
go like.
Oh,
right,
don't get me wrong.
You go-
Ron, I'd love to see you in a cape.
You go right. I've got someone here. This is the name. This is it. There's no like guessing. This is it. And if it ain't for you, it's someone else in the room. or
yeah,
whatever.
I always stick by what I say. I mean, luckily enough, I've got a big following. Lots and lots of people have seen me over many years. I've had great honours given to me, you know, with a little Jake Russell, the pastor of Jake, God bless him. I'm now godfather to his brother that I predicted. I've had a star named after me by Nicky and Alan Russell. I've got a massive, massive following. And I think I'm a bit Marmite. You know, people either really love the work or they don't. And the problem with mediumship today, in my mind, it's gone a little bit modern, a little bit, you know, it's a little bit theatrical now. And there's a way of putting things, and it's all about angels and this and that. And
Fashion. It's fashionable. Yeah.
It's gone beyond me. I've always... Lynn, who sort of schooled me through the early years, you had to keep everything basic. You didn't throw in guesses, you know, and you worked clean. And, you know, can I say, hand on heart, that every reading I've ever given has been absolutely 100%? Of course not. But I think 95% of my record says that. And that's the thing about the book.
But you never fish for answers, do you?
No.
You don't go like, it begins with J, and then someone feeding it to you.
Oh, rarely,
You always,
really.
Whenever I've seen you, you go, his name's Dave or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you straight
Yeah,
on.
sometimes you do get an initial. I mean, what people don't understand is different spirits can work to different levels. They don't all work off the same level. So, I mean, you know, Amy, you're a big, big personality. So if you, please God, it's for a long, long time. But when you come across, you'll bring that sense of personality with you. You're a great communicator in life.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, you are. But if someone in life was a very shy, sort of drawn back, reclusive person, that's how they come through. So it's a little bit harder to engage with them. And if you see me do shows, it's always characters that I get on better with. And I honestly believe that certain spirits will come through to me because they like my out-and-out personality, because I'm going to say it as it was. And the thing is, and I say this to people, when you pass across the spirit, you take your personality with you. So if you was a real arsehole...
So I'm going to be an arsehole over there as well then, basically.
Probably.
Yeah, but you'll be
Probably.
so handsome when you're dead.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's about giving proof. So if you're going to someone, I've got your dad here, and we're assuming that all dads are lovely people, what a nice man, and say, well, actually, he used to beat me mum up and kick the dog, they'd deny it was their dad. But I would know that. When the spirit comes through, I can feel what they were like. And they bring back
So the spirits don't hold back any details of how they were to you then, or anything like that?
Occasionally.
As in, if they did something pretty sinister,
never lasts
they
very
wouldn't
long.
give it up.
Occasionally, a suicide will come through and say they passed in another way. But they can't keep that up because my greatest asset is what they call clairsentience. So a spirit comes so close to me that I can feel what they were like. And in the end, I begin to feel the depression. I go, hold on a minute, this was that. And they give you the feelings of and the feelings of their personality.
So do you think that there are a lot of skeptics because of all the pizzazz mediums, and they've kind of ruined it for people that really do have the skills? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Or don't you've got to also take into consideration that there may be skeptics who don't believe
The science.
because they're super into the science of it. Because we've got no hard proof that.
but surely
that
there's
exists.
science that we don't know about as well, with how the
for
brain
God,
works
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
I've said many times, millions of people have claimed to see ghosts over millions of years, thousands of years. They can't all be wrong. Mathematics, science must say that. If you've got millions of people say, I have seen a ghost, they can't all be wrong. And if just one of those millions is right and they have seen a ghost, then there's an afterlife.
But is that the same for like religion though? Because obviously people believe in all that as well. Like if you do and if you don't, it's up to you. But do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, because there's so many people have said Jesus, God, and Allah, and all of that. Like, does that make it the same sort of ballpark?
You see, really, I want people to understand this. It says there's not a man that is a God. There's no man. God isn't a man. Allah wasn't a man. It's all one energy. It's a spiritual energy from which everything flows. And this is why I always laugh when people say, oh, there's black magic and there's white magic and there's healing and there's cursing. It's all the same energy. People can't get their head around that, but it is. It's a greater energy from which everything flows. Now, if you liken it to electricity, you can plug electricity into a incubator and save a baby's life, or put it into an iron lung and save someone's life, or you can put it into an electric chair and take someone's life. Electricity won't go, fuck that, I ain't going there to kill him.
Yeah.
Electricity will go, well, look, it's up to you. You pull the switch, I'll kill him. It's your choice. You make the choice. And if you decide that's what you're going to do, I'll do it for you. But the conscience lays, it's up to you. Your conscience lies with you. And the same thing. So it's a manipulation of energy. But of course, different races, different beliefs. You've got so many religions out there, and they all counteract each other.
Yeah.
But the same basic.
And does that ruin it though a bit? Do you think, where it's just getting so filtered everywhere that it's hard to know what is
I know
what?
that religion, especially most religions are against what I do, or they're against mediums. But to me,
But both religion and what you do are based on hope a bit as well. Like, you give hope to people with these messages, and religion is a bit of hope, go somewhere where you die and stuff. And you're kind of affirming that there is something after.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But with religion, it's almost that you can't speak to the dead, that's gone. And if you was a bad person, you go to hell. And if you was a good person, you go to heaven. Well, it's not like that. There's different stages of the spirit world. Nasty bits of work are down the lower realms. The better you are, the higher you'll go.
So they all get in then?
Yeah, into somewhere. But don't get me wrong, you're going to get a murderer and people like that, rapists, nasty bits of work. They're not going to go to the same level as decent people.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like having a hotel where downstairs is...
They're not in business class.
Yeah, is basic. It's just hard seats, no heating, no windows. Then you go to the next level, and so it goes on and on and on, and progresses and gets more and more beautiful.
What sort of people are in the top tier then? Like, what are they, in the VIP lounge?
Me? No, jokes one side. It'll be people that have been good people. And what people have got to realise is you don't live one life, you live loads of lives. You come back, and from where you leave off this life, you take on the next life. So you'll go through everything.
So it's kind of a nirvana situation.
Exactly.
Can you get a
work your way
spirit?
up.
Can you get a spirit that's on this sort of multiple lives thing? Do you ever get like a spirit come through that's in the last life he was Joe Bloggs, but also you can tell that he was something else before that form?
Yeah, does that energy come through them through
No,
their lives?
I won't lie. I've never had that. I've never had a spirit come through and tell me that he was something
Yeah, because
else or
obviously
someone
you would
else
have to
before
work on the assumption that person would have known that.
Yes.
But of course, that would be a bit of a mind-blowing
And
thing
the thing
to
is, and
accept.
this is what some people do, they go into this aspect of it, but because you don't know if they're getting it right or not. It's like you said, I know there was a medium years ago when I used to serve the churches. I'm not going to mention where. The man's passed over now, so he was a terrible medium. He ran a certain church that I went to, but he was terrible. And he only ever worked with great-grandparents.
Oh, that's
or great-great
handy.
aunts.
Yeah.
So when he was given a message, the person would go, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody
There was
that
no
I
proof
didn't
in it.
know, and,
No
and
one
they were
direct.
Well,
they were
you-
all
But
called
surely
Victoria.
people will go into them because they've lost their recent someone, not someone that they
No,
never
no.
met.
We're talking about demonstrations of mediumship.
Ah,
Right?
right,
That's the
okay.
difference. Like private reading, he wouldn't get away with it. I don't think he did. Well, it wouldn't last long if he did. I mean, there's a lot of psychics out there, but very few have got long waiting lists. You can ring up some today and see them tomorrow. Where it should be word of mouth that passes on. But no, in the spiritualist churches, there's some good mediums and there's some very poor mediums, sadly. I'm not going to knock this. I worked in them for 10 years. And I met some very good mediums and I saw some very, very bad ones. There is no sort of
Does
regulation.
it boil your blood a bit though? That they are taking the piss or whatever.
No, some of them don't. It's not that they're taking the piss. I think they kid themselves that they're talking to the other side.
But they don't. They don't have the gift.
No.
Right.
Or there's a.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't you? Doesn't that
It's like,
annoy you that you can see through it? Sort of thing?
It's like you've been out to play guitar and someone else playing 3 notes and say he can play guitar. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a problem.
And they're the
to
ones that
us.
get in the chance.
Yeah, you got it. But no, and there's certain things that you see mediums say. I mean, I've seen mediums say that be giving out a message and they say to someone, I can give you the months of February, May, maybe November, December for birthdays, passing, or anniversaries. I've heard that used
God,
so
then you
many
got
times.
a 1 out of 12 chance.
Well,
And someone's going to
Or
put their hand
more.
up.
Or if
throw
you're-
any day,
yeah.
any month at anyone,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
think of something that happens that month.
Exactly.
And of course, then you've got is there a George and an old lady drinking Guinness and
So before we dive into this part of it, like
Yeah.
for people who are watching now and going, I'm not sold or whatever. So how does it work for you? How does it actually happen? Like, what's the process? What's the thing?
yeah, there's all different sorts of.
So when you wake up in the morning, how does it all start? Like, what happens? Like, how does it work for your body? Like, how do you turn it on and
I
off?
think
No,
what Rob might be asking is, do you have to get yourself in a particular mindset? Do you
No.
have to be in a particular space? Or can you be walking through Tesco's and go, bloody hell, hang on a minute.
Well, in the book,
somebody's
there's a few
here.
stories there. I
I just want to know your mechanics of it. How it starts.
No, do you know, I'm just an everyday fella. I get up in the morning, normally go to the gym, have a bit of breakfast, do whatever I do, fuck about around the house, ride my motorbikes and sort of stuff like that. And actually, when I go to do a show,
So how do you switch it on? I mean, what do you have to do? Like,
it's just the mind.
and then how does it work?
It's quick. I can go from normal to medium in seconds. It's just a.
So talk us through like that process. What happens to you?
Well, you open up basically. It's like throwing a switch. You open up. It's very hard to explain. And then if there's a spirit near to you, first thing I do is I feel it. I feel that spirit. I feel the energy.
Emotionally or physically?
Physically.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, I've got a man here who's very nice for that, that type of thing.
What, like somebody invading your space a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's almost like having a television set inside
Okay.
your head and they're running pictures and things by you. You don't actually hear a lot. And that's why when I'm doing shows, you'll hear me say, the only time I'll ask someone a question is if they shout a name at me, because I don't hear enough for them to say, I am her dad, my name's Peter. I'll just hear the name Peter shout. Who's Peter? And say, that is my dad or it's his brother. Apart from that, everything's a statement. So if I said, oh, did your dad have cancer? I'm saying, I believe your dad had cancer. Was he a tall man? I believe he was, the way it goes. And then they just answer yes or no to let you know you're on track.
But you never. I've seen your shows, and you never kind of give them options to feed an answer. Like you. What's so impressive is you do go, right, I've got this man or woman
Oh,
here.
yeah, because
this is what they look like. He's got ginger hair, and you
It can't be
already
wrong.
describe it before you're asking if he had ginger or brown hair.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it can't be wrong because you always do there's always when you're going to give a message in a show, I'll go, right, I've got a man here. I feel that I'm in my 60s. I feel that I'm quite a stocky built man.
You're
balding on
describing
top.
yourself, Ronnie.
Thank you. Balding on top and fat. I love
I'm
this
on a
guy.
podcast.
Yeah, but no. And then you might hear a name. So you say, look, this could be his name. If it's not, it's very someone close to him, maybe a brother. This man's telling me he had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. He died on a midweek, maybe around a Wednesday time. And then someone will go, yeah, that's my dad or that's whoever. And then you just roll on from there. I mean, and often you get people who don't put their hand up. Or this one says, I go, no, it's not for you. This is not for you. If you can't take that, if you
Yeah.
can't take that your dad was short, this is not your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone else eventually goes, you're with me. Because there's a lot of fear in it. A lot of people don't want to put their hand up.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing. And
Things are they're there at the show because obviously to see you do your thing, but obviously most people are there because they've lost someone, right?
Yeah, or they just want to believe there's something else.
Yeah. And that's the nice
Or they're
bit.
interested. And the nice thing is, one of my nicest compliments is people saying to me, although there was no message for me, I thoroughly enjoyed the night. It just, blew me away.
Because before I
changed my outlook.
Before I met you, I was a bit of a skeptic. Like I'm very much a science geezer and all that stuff. But having seen you and known you for so many years, like there's just no way that, especially like because you've some of the friends and stuff that I know you've spoke to and stuff, and the facts that you've drawn out of them, and that even they didn't know, and they've researched and found out that things are true. Obviously, that's definitely put me in the I'm convinced crowd. How would you? Because I think, Amy, you're probably not so convinced of this as a general thing. So how would you go about showing those sort of people like?
I don't know. I think
I could read Amy privately and tell her things that she knows you wouldn't know, I wouldn't know, only she would know, and her loved ones would know. And that's what you've got to look for. I'm always asking them on the other side, tell me something that it couldn't be guessed. It couldn't go. And a lot of people say,
because you can't Google certain things and all that.
Never have. I've done this before, Facebook and Google. I mean, this is all new to me. I was doing this in the.
No, I mean, if it was bullshit, obviously there's certain things you can't look up or find out.
Well, not only that. I mean, I've had people turn around and say, they read body language. Well, if little Nicky Russell and is watching this, this is Lost Little Jake is in the book. Right. I read Nicky over the telephone. Never knew who she was. I was sitting about 1 o'clock one day, reading never showed up. Phone rang. This is years ago. This is 18, 19 years ago. And you could tell it was a woman. You could tell she was young. And you could tell she was a Cockney. But that's all you could tell over the phone. And Nicky said, look, we're desperate to see you. Didn't say why. Offered me a little bit more money, bless them. And I said, no, it's not how it works. I'll read you now. And I told her everything over the telephone. What her son looked like, what he was buried in, what happened on the day of his passing, names, conditions, about tattoos, makes of the car that he was hit by, how many people was in the car, everything, And her mum, Kath, bless her heart, she'll go on there, and when people say they doubt this, she'll say, well, how did this man tell me things? And when they told the police went, how do you know that?
Yeah, especially with no prep as well,
Yeah, and that was purely over the telephone. And, I can go through hundreds of cases, and I'm not trying to sell the book, but it's all in there.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like in the yes camp.
Yeah.
Why I did the book like I did is because I've read lots of books, Doris Stokes and things like that, and they always talk about Mrs. A, Mrs. B, Mrs. X. Well, I'm not saying they were lying, I'm not saying that at all, but it's no proof. On this one, you can get in touch with any of the people and say, did that really happen?
Well, look, Ron, we're going to talk about your book and how it all began and your early days in a minute. We're going to go to a little music break, though.
Lovely.
All right?
And then after that, we've got a question that's come in from one of our listeners.
Oh, my God.
Wicked. So, so without further ado, this is Sandman in the Dark. He was one of my studio clients here, and we shot the video for it. It's a brand new sort of outing for him as a solo artist, so go and support him. He's you can go and follow him at RealSandman98. But I'm pretty sure if you look up Sandman in the Dark, you're going to find this stuff everywhere. So enjoy.
Yeah.
can see clearly now, not living in the dark. You found me beaten down, bruised, I was still searching, trying to find the right one who could stop the hurting. But you played me for a fool, excused all you'd say or do. I thought that I would've learned the first time, never chase people to stay in your life, running in circles for people who never had the time. I spent so many nights just laying on my own, wishing that you were here right next to me. But you're laying with another guy, he doesn't know that you were with me just the other night. Cause time and time again, I don't know why I'm thinking you'll change after the 50th time. It's clear we don't want the same thing anymore. And I look at the mirror, it's not me staring back. What have you done to me? Cause I'm feeling so cold. It's true that fate pulled us together, but it tore us apart. I can see clearly now, I'm not living in the dark. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know myself anymore, feel like a stranger in my skin when you let me in. Let me cold. I know you thought I could be the one, but everything's all been said and done. And I look at the mirror, it's not me staring back. What have you done to me? Cause I'm feeling so cold. It's true that fate pulled us together, but it tore us apart. I can see clearly now, I'm not living in the dark. I'm not living in the dark. I'm not living in the dark.
Yes.
Love that.
Sandman in the house.
There we go.
Ron,
Okay.
Ron, you don't strike me as a grime music lover. What's your sort of taste in music?
My taste in music,
Yeah.
Motown, soul, rock and roll, older stuff.
So would you download a bit of Sandman? This guy?
No, he would download the bum 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 bum
More of a sort
version.
of, Fox, Wiggle and Sass person. I like that sort of music. Yeah.
No mention of my
Who
stuff.
are
Brilliant.
those chicks? Right, okay. Right, quickly, can we do a question? Because a question's come in from one of our viewers.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so this is from Spike. Do you think a previous spirit can pass into a living being and that living being can carry that past life with them?
No, not exactly. I think a spirit can make contact. I've had it myself, where a spirit can enter your body, but as to stay for any length of time, I don't feel so. No.
Sorry about that, Spike.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's
Spike.
what I feel. But I think we can be strongly influenced by someone that's passed. I really do. And of course, Spike, it might be that he's a little bit psychic or he's a little bit open to it. As I say, I've had instances when they do take people over.
Well, on that then, so when you said that, the Spike could have it or whatever, so there must have been that first day that you went, what is happening to me? What is this? So let's go back to the beginning. So
Well, hang on. We've got another question coming from one of
okay.
our. This
Yeah, go
is
on.
fascinating. So this is from Jenna, and she has said, "I'd like to ask if you can help." She has dreams about people that she has never met, and they are the same faces in repeating numerous dreams. What do you think it can mean? Are they previous people from my previous life, perhaps?
Right, I'll answer that because when you go into a certain sleep, a very, very deep sleep, your spirit actually leaves your body. But
Mine
it's
definitely does, because no one can wake me up.
No, it leaves your body, but it's connected to the lifeline, the silver cord.
Okay.
And it wanders up and can go into the spirit world and meet with people, maybe from a previous life. Maybe this could be a relative that she never actually got to know. Does that make sense?
Do you think
to
that is possibly why when you are asleep, you wake up in the morning and you're like, bloody hell, I've just had the most vivid dream of
Yeah.
Grandad.
And also that other dream, I mean, I'm sure we've all had that feeling that you're falling You know, when you wake up with a... And a lot of that is because when your spirit leaves the body...
Because Lid's kicked me out of bed.
Well, no, not as often as that. But no, when the spirit leaves the body, it can be in danger, either in the spirit world or it's personal, you know, your actual physical body. And if it feels that, rather than just coming gently back down and lining itself and going into the body, it rushes back. Hence that sense of as if you're falling and bang, you know, that type of thing. I mean, it's a very complex world, dreams. And it's not really...
What about your dreams then? Because you must, being open to it, do you go sort of quite deep into dreams?
I do sometimes, not a lot. I mean, I think because I'm dealing with it all day, I quite understand it and quite in control of it.
What would you say to Jenna about having to deal with these dreams? Because she doesn't say whether or not they cause her any distress or anything. She just says that she regularly sees them. So, I mean, you just ride it out? Or
Yeah, ride it out. There's not a lot really you can do about it. I would say it's probably a loved one from way back. And that a soul, a spirit, if you like, leaving the body, is meeting this soul over here. Mm-hmm. But as I say, I'm not an expert on dreams. It's a different field to what I do.
Yeah, of course.
I do know about the spirit leaving the body, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the beginning,
amazing.
Ron, then. So, as I was saying, so you had a bit of a colourful past, haven't you?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to talk about that, but also I want to find out about the transitional time where you went, I'm seeing ghosts, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So take us back to the beginning, Ron.
Yeah.
Well, I actually
So obviously, this is all in the book, isn't it?
I actually see a ghost in the late 70s in a cottage that I lived in. Just see this man in the wall, see him thorough, but didn't realise I could do then what I do now. And
So you must
really-
have shit your pants.
Not really. Well, yeah, it worried me a little bit, to be honest with you.
Tried to
at
cosh him.
that time, because you think, who the fuck's that? You know, and it was so very real, I could see this fella.
So it's all like flesh and bones, totally.
Yeah, I could
there,
see him
or
very, very solid.
Not like
He was in a suit.
bed sheet or.
No. He was in a suit, young man. And it turned out the road I found out in time to come that the actual road I lived in, and this was on New Year's Eve, funny enough, and a chap was killed on the road in a car crash in the 50s on New Year's Eve. So I know I see him, but it did freak me out a little bit. I mean, you know, at that time I was doing the doors and things like that, but you can't have a fight with a spirit, so it's no good being tough, you know what I mean? You just got to... So it worried me. Obviously it don't worry me now, and I've seen a lot since. But no, for me, because I lived always in the gym, working the doors, in and out of prison, all that, my life had been sort of wild, you know, that type of thing. So...
So this was this after prison, this gift?
Oh, yeah.
So you never had any sort of
no,
little signs when you were there or anything like that?
Not really. No. I mean, I knew things. I always knew things, but didn't know how I knew it. I remember once being on the door and there was a little toss pot coming there, and I just said, watch him, he's going to be a problem. And the other one said, what, fucking him? I went, yeah, him. And he was. He got thrown out of the club after about 40, 50 minutes, come back, this is the windmill, poured petrol all up the doors and set light to it. And they managed to catch him, and I think he got 7 years, something like that. Wow. But I knew there was something wrong. So I'd know bits like that, but I didn't understand why. But the thing is, with mediumship,
What do you see over Amy's head, like, about her character right now?
I can see a halo there, but it's...
Oh, I paid him 10 quid to say that.
It's a bit rusty, though.
20 fucking quid. I'm not that cheap. But no, so seriously...
The mates rates, Ronnie.
Yeah. Well, it'd be £50, anyone else. But no, getting back to this, I didn't have a lot of clue, but some crap went on in my life, relationships and other things. And, my dad passing at the time. It all happened in a very short period of time. And I went for a reading with who was Lynn Younger then. It's not Lynn, she's married on now, but yeah. And she just said to me, do you realise you're a natural born medium? And to be honest, I mean, I love this woman a bit, but I thought she was a crank. So she went to make me a cup of tea and she gave me a ring to hold. And she said, little images and things will jump into your head.
So she kind of gave you the...
Just give me a ring to hold, which is now called psychometry. Yeah, well, and I held it and I was going to put it down. She went, no, just don't give it the macho bit. And when she come back in, she said, well, what feelings, what divisions did you get? And when I told her, she thought I was lying. She thought I'd been doing mediumship, was having a laugh with her. I said, no. And it took off. Within 5 months, I was working in the churches. And
do you think it was that ring scenario that...
Yeah, it was a trigger. I mean,
it wouldn't have happened without that, you know?
Well, if I'd met Lynn, no, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. She saw the gift in me, and I sat in her circle, and it's only a tiny little woman, but fucking ferocious, frightened me. And in the book, I was called her the Dragon Lady, you know, and she was always very hard on me. Always very hard on me. You could be given a message. And in the early days, you don't do it now, but you might see A and B, or A and C and guess B. Do you see what I mean? And she'd fucking know. Don't you dare guess him. I was like, oh, the time she was going to throw me out. Get out, that's it. You couldn't, you know, if oh, fuck.
So she helped you, what you're saying earlier, about keeping it a clean read.
Oh, yeah, this lady, fantastic. For me, no one could have been better for me. She was hard down the line. But what happened, she said to me, right, we've got to, don't forget our money. I'm still in Circle after a few months. And
Just explain to people what that means.
Circle is where you sit and develop. So there was about 4 or 5 of us, and we meditate, and then Lynn's in charge of it, and she'd say, right, what did you see, and what did you see, and what this and that. And then you'd have a go at picking up spirits. And, you know, I could do it very, very quickly and very, very well. So Lynn said, come with me. We're going down to Clacton, the Spiritualist Church, at Old Road. And it's a psychic supper. So in psychic suppers, you have a table with 12 people, the medium making 13, and you all have fish and chips. And then the medium sits and they all shuffle round, you hold someone, and you give everyone a message. So it says medium room. So Lynn's gone in, she said, come in. I went, I can't go in there. She said, what do you mean? I said, I ain't a medium. She said, you bloody hell, get in there. So I'm in there with all the local mediums, and I just sort of hid in the corner, you know, and I thought, I was in awe of all these people. And then we come out, and Lynn said, right, we're on this table here. It was a very end table. I've never forgot it. So I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. I like watching this. I love watching Lynn work. Brilliant medium. And then she said to me, right, sit yourself down. I said, what do you mean? That's where you sit. She went, oh, it's your night. You're going to do it. I said, what, me? I got. She went, don't you dare.
Threw you in the deep end.
Oh, don't you dare tell me no. So, oh, fuck, we ain't going to argue with her. So, yeah. They all went round and everyone said it was amazing. And then I was asked to go and work in the church and do an actual show. And yeah, Lynn come along to watch me, and she's been along a few times, once or twice. She keeps an eye on me, I know that. And the loveliest thing for me is she said to me she's really, really proud of me. So
Yeah,
that's lovely.
that's
That means
yeah,
more to
yeah.
me.
Have,
than
have you
anything
always
else.
been like the character you are? Like, can you just walk out onto a stage like you do now? Back then, you know.
Yeah, I think because obviously being on the doors, I was always a good front of doorman, you know, so you're greeting people and meeting lots of celebrities and, you know, that sort of thing. So I've always, and I was a sales rep, don't forget, so
Right.
I was always a good cold caller. I've just had that knack of going in and be able to talk to people and putting them at ease or being
Well,
like
they're really cold now, aren't they? So,
very good, very good, very good.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, that's totally thrown me off now. But
Fuck's sake.
I've totally forgotten what I was going to ask now. I think Amy's having a moment. Should we just let Amy laugh for a bit?
Yeah, go on. That's thrown it.
See, I think we found our ringtone.
I'm so sorry, Rob.
Should we go to some music while
Let's do
Amy
that.
composes herself? All right, so next up we've got another band here called Paper Fight with their song Far Away. If you like what you're about to see, you can go to @PaperFightBand, and we'll be back with more from Ronnie Buckingham as well. Don't go anywhere.
Tell me why you look that way. I feel about you every day. Tell me you've been doing this for years. You had your way
Welcome
we're back.
That was amazing.
Amy's changed her pants. So she's fine now.
I've just recovered from that. Very sorry for the hysterics, but that is what happens when you present with this.
That's it. So thank you very much for Paper Fight for sending that in. That was far away. Once again, if you want to go and see them, it's at Paper Fight Band. Please do support all the music we do have on the show because we couldn't do it without them. So, Ron, during that break and while Amy was shitting herself, there's been another question or two coming in. Is that right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Ronnie, you've previously said that we have many past lives.
Yep.
Is there a possibility that parts of those past lives carry on?
Yes, I strongly believe that. I think spirit's like a diamond, many facets, and I believe that certain bits basically, yes, that's the way to put it. I think you carry on from this life what you learned in the last life, and some things overlap. So
Okay.
very much so. It can sort of weave a pattern into the life you leave now, if that makes sense to you. Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting stuff. So I hope that has answered your question.
So we're going to find out a bit more about you, Ron, and your book and some of the cool highlights of your career and whatnot. But I want to have a bit of fun.
This is one of his highlights.
I want to have a bit of fun. We have this as a regular feature on the show now. This is True or False.
Am I meant to do that?
Are we out?
No.
We're out.
All right then.
So, obviously, it says what it is on the tin, true or false. So, I know Ron, so I can't really take part. So, Ron has given me some questions to read to Amy, and Amy's going to see if she can get her psychic head on and get these answers right. No help from the spirit world.
I'm sorry,
You gotta do-
my computer has just had a mental breakdown.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do you need it for this?
I don't know.
Cool, let's find out. All right, so this is true or false. All right, question 1. Ron has read for members of the royal family. True or false?
False.
What's your basis?
I think that any member of the royal family, like in the gang, there'd probably be some sort of clause in their royaltiness that says, don't be dilly-dallying with that lot because, you know, of the baby Jesus and all of that.
Fair. Okay, Ron, what's the answer?
Well, true, but outer members.
Yeah.
Outer members.
Can I have a half point for that? Because I did say in.
Go on, embellish us with who that was, Ron.
Did you have to sign an NDA?
No, it wasn't done like that. One was, trying to think, the Marquis of Blandford, Jamie Blandford, who's Winston Churchill's grandson, and Tara Palmer Tompkinson,
Oh, wow.
who was a cousin to the
She's
royals.
more of a royal fuck up, though, isn't she?
She's a lovely woman, well, was, still is. Lovely soul.
Have you ever been in a position where you've met somebody in real life and then met them again afterwards?
No.
Right.
No.
All right, so that was that one. All right, question 2. Ron swam 5 miles non-stop for charity. True or false?
5 miles is a fucking long way to swim. But people can swim the Chanel. I am going to say... Cool, blimey. I'm going to say yes, because I think you're quite a determined chap.
I'm going to say no, because I can't fucking swim.
Deg nebbit.
There you go.
Okay.
Hate deep water. It's one of my
He sank
biggest
5 miles.
Fear.
You sank 5 miles.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I could do
All right,
that.
so half a point still. Okay, so question 3. Ron was once arrested for a shooting. True or false? I'm going to burp.
Oh. Well, I know you've been in some tricky old situations, Ronald.
One or two.
Oh, Christ. I'm going to go with yes because you didn't specify what it was that was being shot. So you could have been grouse hunting and accidentally taken off somebody's TV aerial.
No, I actually was pulled in about a shooting of a gentleman who was shot for his letterbox. And
It's a mail shot.
Hey! Very good. But no, he actually
You're exquisite.
he lived next door to a friend of mine years ago, and he grassed the friend up. And at the time, I was caught doing a robbery with a shotgun, and so they just put 2 and 2 together and said to me, "Right, we think you shot this man."
Right.
And I said, "No, I didn't." And
Did you?
no, of course not. And well, no, I'd have got charged with it if I did. But they had a good go at making it stick, and it didn't stick. That was Hackney.
But you got it right, Aim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was accused of it.
Okay, so question 4. I'm shitting myself now. Question 4. Ron ran the London Marathon. True or false?
False.
You're correct. I used to do 10 miles on a regular basis with the Victoria Park Harriers, but I never went the 26 miles. I'm too heavy for that. I was always carrying about 17 stone.
Me too.
So, no. That wasn't
Okay,
it.
I'll have the point for that. Thank you.
Okay. Question 5. Ron, and the last question. Ron did the London to Brighton bike ride in under 4 hours.
I totally believe that.
That's true.
me.
Yeah, I did it 3 hours, 40 minutes last year. Raised $5,000 for the British Heart Foundation. So
Amazing.
very proud of that.
There you go.
Yeah, and so you should be.
I've totally lost track of what you scored there. So
I
you
think I got 3.5 points.
Cool. That was true or false, everybody?
True or false? Okay.
And we're out.
And we're out. Lovely job.
We definitely need that cue, don't we, to know. All right, so still to come, we've got some more music and stuff. Also, if you're interested in a bit of, I don't know, is it meditation? But Ronnie's going to take you through a bit of a spirit walk at the end of this podcast as well. So stick around if you want to have a nice, relaxing finish. Probably the only relaxing finish we'll have on this show.
Highly recommended.
But that's coming up. Also, I need to get this in as well for my wife. Now, she runs a business called Managery, and she's going to be running a Macmillan Cancer coffee and cake event to raise some money. So we're going to read out this. Amy's going to help me read this too. So this year, Managery has decided to hold a Macmillan coffee morning to raise money for cancer patients and Macmillan nurses. They're doing this in the loving memory of Lydia's dad, and also in support of her dear friend Nadia Foreman and her son Nick, who has been battling a rare cancer these last few months.
We really, really hope you can support Managery in this. Managery will hold the coffee morning, or the coffee and cake morning, at the Jardins on E Street. That's Braintree, and the doors will be open to anyone who would like to purchase cake and raise money on Saturday, the 26th of September, from 10:30 a.m.
Okay, Managery has managed to secure some great prizes for the raffle from the likes of Braintree Printing Company, OC Media Solutions, all the way up to Chop House, and lots of other nice stuff as well. So please check Managery out on Facebook and pop along, and we hope to see you there.
And I would just like to clarify, since the government restrictions have changed slightly with regard to social distancing outside your bubble, so on and so forth, Lydia and Managery and everybody involved in it have gone to great lengths to make this a socially
we've got all separate tables, all the
everything.
sanitizers,
We are good to go. So don't be afraid. Come and buy cake and let's raise some money. We have just got another question. This is fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody who's taking time to listen this evening and sending on your questions, because this is fantastic. We've got a question that's come in. Do you believe our loved ones that have passed on make themselves known to us at any random time, or usually when they feel that we need them most?
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. And they leave little signs as well. And often when I'm doing readings, I pick up on these little signs. It's funny, I just read the other week, a young girl come all the way from Nottingham. And it was quite funny. I told her dad came through and told me that she had this ornament of an elephant in her front window that she loved and her husband hated, but he wanted her to keep it there, and she agreed with it. So, yeah, they give little signs. Often, I'll say to people, you're surrounded by robins, or robins come right up to them, or it can be feathers, it can be all sorts of things, or just a sense of their dad, or that feeling of. And often people say they feel them sit on the bed and things like that. They're never far away. I mean, when you need them, they're there. Mm-hmm. They're not there all the time. They've got a life to live over there, not sitting on clouds playing harps. They live a life. But when you're down, or you really need them, or it's a big anniversary like a wedding or the birth of a child, they're always around, and often make themselves known. So
I like these questions that are coming in now. Ronnie, you do have a Facebook page and all that stuff, don't you?
Yes,
so
I
if
do,
anyone does have more questions or want to find out more about Ronnie, or go and see a show, all that stuff, I'm sure you'll answer them, wouldn't you? So
yeah,
if you just put Ronnie Buckingham Medium, isn't it?
What I'll
in
do
Facebook?
is, I'll put the
Medium.
links to all Ronnie's socials on our comments this evening. So if you do want to get in touch, I'm quite sure that a couple of our viewers this evening would love to. You're still doing socially distant readings at the moment.
Yeah, I'm still doing readings, one-to-one readings. Yeah, and there's a few feet between us, so quite booked up at the moment.
Okay.
But
You got obviously eventually public shows will be a thing again and all that. So
well, evidently, if it's we're doing them with big spaces in between, so smaller shows. But I know we've got one at the Maylands Golf Course, which I think might be sold out. But I think it's September the 24th of this month, something like that.
But that's all on your page, isn't it? All the details.
Yeah, and then in October, Mark and Arto's in Hoddesdon, the restaurant, is starting up again. So that's a 3-course meal, and I've been there for about 10 years now, Mark and Arto. So it's always very, very busy. But it's distancing and families on tables. But it comes with a 3-course meal.
Lovely.
Fabulous. Amazing.
So let's talk about the book. So your book, Medium Rare.
Yeah.
It was a #1 bestseller, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sold in the first week. It went to bestsellers. I think it sold 1,000 in the first week, and it's had fantastic reviews. I mean, it's getting on for I think about 280 something reviews, and 90% are 5 stars. So
that's good.
It's emotional to read the reviews. I've read them, and it what people think you and what people say you've done from it. It makes you very humble.
So where does the book take us? Obviously from the beginning to today? Or?
Yeah, it takes me from the beginning of my life, as a sort of East End kid with a father that was a compulsive gambler, and all the clothes come from the second-hand shops, and very, very hard.
So that Amy's.
No, very, very hard at school, and moving around and other bits, and just life in general and things I did. It's quite funny in places, I'm told, and witty in others, and then...
But it's warts and all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold
I mean,
back.
19, I was in Borstal for an armed robbery, and then I did an 18-month later on, then a 2 years, then a 4 for conspiracy, and, working doors and womanising and fighting. That was
like I said,
really.
colourful past, right?
Being down the gyms, yeah.
But it's in the book, but like mediumship made you turn a bit of a corner, did it?
Yeah, it showed me another aspect to life. I think you're always... I don't know, I think I was a good doorman. I'm not saying I was the toughest man out there, but I was a good doorman. I could hold my hands up, look after myself, and was diplomatic. But it's a young man's job, what was I going to do after that? And I'm thankful to mediumship because it's given me a living, and it's given me a place in society, and it's helped, I think, pay back a lot of the wrongs I've done. And obviously I've been up to the right mischief in the past.
Do you think where do you think you'd be if this mediumship never happened? Like if it never came along?
I hate to think, Rob, to be honest with you. I hate to think. I mean, what else could I do? I was too old. I've done building site work, but I had no skills, just labouring. A doorman, what are you going to be in your 50s, 60s? I mean, I had a good run. I didn't retire till I was about 48 on the doors, which is good. And I retired intact, but you get into your 50s and 60s, you're going to be someone's punch bag. And what do you do from them? So I don't know. I mean, I'd have always eat to living out. I've always been someone that can put me nut to something and get by. But no, I love what I do, and I'm very, very fortunate that I've become good at it, or so they tell me. And I'm just thankful for all those that I've got a fantastic following, the loyalist crowd ever. Some real lovely people out there who.
So where can people get the book? It's obviously Amazon only.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, I've heard that eBay are doing it now, but on Amazon I think it's about £11 delivered. But nice. Look it up online. Just look at the reviews.
I'm going to take a moment to try and find the Amazon listing, and I will put it in the comments for anybody who wants to track down a copy.
Yeah,
all right, wicked.
Ronnie Buckingham, medium rare.
So Ronnie, you're here on the toast train. Now, one of the main things about the toast train, as well as our guests, is to eat some toast. So what I'd like you to do, Ron, if you can just grab that loaf of bread just over the other end there.
Oh, yeah.
Get a couple of slices out, and let's get some toast in. Now, you got in a bit of a pickle tonight, didn't you? You didn't quite understand what the requirements were about the toast train.
I think let's just get down
to it. In other words, I'm thick.
No, Ronnie didn't listen to the instructions.
But you've basically gone upstairs and raided my cupboard with something, haven't you? So get that toast in. Give him a hand aim, because I think it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
There you go. No, hang on.
Go on.
You want that one.
Is this antique? This
Suck it down. Cool, right, we've got toast.
Right.
So, Ronnie, what have you managed to salvage out of my cupboard to surprise us with tonight?
The one and only chocolate spread.
Oh, get in.
This is for a young man in his early days, because I knew him when he was just that big. Used to go through jars of Nutella and
Still guilty.
Cocoa Pops, the Cocoa Pop King.
Any chocolate, mate. Any chocolate. So,
That's what we got, chocolate spread.
If you hadn't have buggered it up tonight, what would you have bought? What's your go-to on toast?
Oh yeah, it's peanut butter and jam.
PB and jam.
You would have had a mixed audience. Adam, producer, what do you reckon you'd have made of a bit of peanut butter and jam?
I've never tried it, you know.
Oh, you got.
Are you all about together?
You haven't lived.
Together.
Yeah.
It's a
What
PB&J,
layer comes
man.
Have you done
first, though? That's what I want to know.
I did it when I was in America because
out
my
there,
friends, when I was in America, they were like, "Yeah, because you guys don't eat PB&J," and I was like, first of all, do not ever say PB&J. It's either peanut butter and jam, or then they made me try it, and I was like momentarily repulsed, and then I had to hide the fact that I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So
It's
if
pretty
you would have
good.
bought that, I don't know if you would have scored that well amongst us. But now you've got chocolate spread. I think you've possibly saved yourself almost. But
Yeah,
Amy,
yeah,
are you a
yeah,
chocolate spread fan, Amy?
Of course I bloody am. I was eating it
who
out of the
isn't?
jar. I was eating it out of the jar. I've got some fabulous, it's called Start Nature or something, vegan chocolate spread in my cupboard, and it's the absolute
Bloody course you have.
don. And I was eating spoons of it like you do with Biscoff.
Oh, yeah.
Just before I came.
Are you a chocolate man? Who isn't chocolate?
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
I don't
Everyone's a
know.
chocolate.
You got a sweet tooth, Ron, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheesecake. That's why I'm a fat bastard. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to. Well, in fact, I'll just have it straight out of the jar. I mean, I don't even need the toast, really.
There's the knife there.
All right,
Yeah,
wicked. There we go, Ron.
amazing.
Oh, there we go.
Grab that knife, Ron.
Well, while he's doing
Slap
that, we
that
should
on.
probably run the titles for this, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Particular segment.
Have we got titles?
Where are we?
Okay, let's hit some titles. So,
Fabulous. Okay.
Hide this bit.
if you weren't married, Ron, and getting lovely meals cooked for you, what would be your stable diet?
Pie mash.
Yeah,
Pie
of course
mash.
it bloody would
Can
be.
you knock up a good pie mash?
No, I buy it. I buy a good pie mash.
He can't knock up a good anything
No, I
in the
can't.
kitchen.
I'm useless.
Luckily, there's 3 kitchen idiots sitting here. So, I mean, if the apocalypse came right now, we'd have to just grab the tinned food and run, surely.
Yeah, beans on toast. is
Wouldn't
my
even be able to have
speciality.
toast, wouldn't it? No bakers, would there?
Good enough to be able to put a bit of cheese on it as well. I
Right.
can grate a bit of cheese on it quite well.
So let's get a bit of an ad as well.
So yeah, we got half
So
each.
there we go. We've got Tesco's own.
Yeah, I'll give him the
chocolate
larger
spread.
half because I'm a very generous man.
So obviously everyone knows about Nutella, but Tesco's don't do a bad one.
It's pretty good, actually.
I would have probably spread it about 8 more times.
Yeah, you need about 15
Yeah,
kilos
yeah.
more on there.
Mind you, when you cook something yourself, it never tastes the same, does it? So I don't know what this is going to be like.
Chocolatey and
bad.
toasty.
Good enough for me, man. I
You
love
can't go
it.
wrong with it, can you? We'd like to know in the comments what
Lovely.
people prefer.
Amy,
If they're a Nutella person or a chocolate, like Tesco's person. Go on.
what's the crispiness score at?
It's a 5.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we've got to change the bread up because I think we've had the same fucking bread
It's all
every week.
Not the same loaf.
Yeah, you know me. Graham.
It's so good. I mean, there is never a time in the day where you couldn't eat this. It's just,
No.
it just makes me so happy.
You can't eat too much of it either.
No, you can't.
Like with, I don't know, savoury shit or whatever, like you can get savoury now, but you can just go all over this.
Oh,
I
I'm
can't
so
believe I made
happy.
such a mess of it. Look.
All good, mate. All good.
Ron's in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
All right. So you can't go wrong with chocolate spread.
But you can go wrong with forgetting that
Yeah.
you're coming on the toast train and that you're supposed to bring a topping for toast.
So, but we haven't had chocolate spread yet on the show.
No.
So that's a good thing. So well salvaged. The people on the podcast are just listening to me chew, which is great. But I'm going to score this a 7. It would have been an 8, but because he didn't bring his own one tonight,
Right.
he loses a point. So 7, and that's a high score
That
for
is
me.
a high score. I'm
That's
gonna
very
go.
good.
I'm gonna go with 6 because
It wasn't the
it's
vegan
good,
one.
but it wasn't vegan and it was spread too thinly, and you stole it out of Rob's cupboard.
All right then.
There you go. So, but that's quite
14 in
that's
total.
quite a
Ain't
good
bad.
score,
It's
mate.
pretty
Out
good.
of 15, that ain't bad.
We need to get
It's out of 700, Ron.
we need to get a scoreboard up because I'm forgetting all the previous ones now. We've had so many shows.
Oh yes.
But that's not about
Oh, none
score.
of the others
Let's
got
hear
an
it for
eight.
Ron's.
No.
Let's hear it for Ron's toast.
Tragic toast story.
Wicked. So, I've totally forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, that's right. So you've read some pretty high-profile people, and you've been on some high-profile shows. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was on. I was a psychic advisor to Big Brother when it first came out when Jay Goody
How
was
did
on
that
it.
happen?
Well,
Because obviously they found you and not these other showbiz ones.
Well,
right?
this is the thing I've never done in life. I've never pushed myself forward. Never. I've always let people come to me, and they found me through some form of means, I don't know, but they got in touch. And what they basically did, they got all the contestants before they went into the house to draw their ideal house. And then they just numbered them 1 to...
So they knew it would be a feature then, before the show?
Oh, yeah, of course. And then they just numbered it 1 to 12, and then they sent them to me, and I wrote on the back of the drawings what I thought would happen and blah, blah, blah. And then I sent them back to them. And, yeah, everything I said. So Kate Lawler winning it. I also said that Jay Goody would be the most famous one, the most controversial one from the house. And then I went on the show a couple of times, and they had me reading doodles, and then they designed a T-shirt that I read, and I got a mention in the Big Brother book. I got asked to do it again, but no, I didn't do that. I was on Big Breakfast and Morning Breakfast with Ian Lane and those 2 nutty girls. What's that? Sue, something or other. You know what the 2...
Mel and Sue.
Yeah, they were nice. I was on there with them. And, yeah, so I did quite a Scream Team. I was on that. Mystic Challenge, Inside Out on BBC. Scream Team, The Grave of Robin Hood. So I did a lot of TV. And then I got pulled up by Eva O'Brien, a medium, and she said, what's the first class medium doing second class psychic work? So make it serious. So I sort of cut the TV out, to be honest with you. And,
it's an interesting choice, because obviously you're right, you can get kind of pigeonholed, if you like, with these people as well who don't believe any TV because it's TV and who knows what's prepped and stuff.
Well, sometimes they want you to ham it up a little bit, and I didn't want to be doing that. I just wanted to stick to... I'd like to have done a show like Colin Fry, sort of Sixth Sense, something like that. That's what would have been ideal for me, but that never come along.
Well, look, I think people are gagging to see a little bit of what you do. Now, we've got a phone clip that we're going to show. Now, apologies if it's not the best quality or whatever, but we're going to run a bit of a clip. Adam's obviously going to monitor it and just, see where the goods come. But basically, this is you in action at one of your shows, right?
Yeah, a gig, yeah. Well, a show, yeah. I was talking your talk now, gigs.
So we obviously get to see how messages come to you and how you deliver it and stuff like that. So if you are interested in this and you haven't seen Ronnie's shows, here's a clip.
Ronnie, can you just move the toast bag out?
Are we out of the audio? Are we still talking?
Oh, we're still on air.
Oh.
Are we still? Okay, fine.
Oh, we're still on air.
I thought we was going to the clip, or have we got to keep going? Are you having a malfunction? Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Well, here you go.
Give us a shout when you're ready.
Pun of the day. Pun of the day has just come in from one of our listeners that says, I ain't afraid of no toast.
Yes.
Oh, it's absolutely
brilliant.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
I bet he earns a good crust.
Oh,
Are we good for it?
Boom, boom. Very nice.
Okay, so Adam's given us the green light to go to this video now. So this is Ronnie Buckingham, the medium, in action.
Like mum's sister, something like that. Mum's still here? On this side of life, correct? Okay, that's fine. That's a statement, I'm not asking you. I just feel as if people didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her. Does that make sense to you? As if she just went in some way? Now, I wasn't sure if this was an accident in some way, like she was run over or hit by something? Yeah. Like a van or something like this? Yeah. And would it have been around school time? As if she'd come out of school and was going home? And there would have been friends with her? And would this have been very near the end of the week? Like a Friday or Thursday, Friday time? Okay. Would she have left a sister behind here? Or she has sisters? Are they all girls or something? Or just girls?
2 sisters and a brother.
Sorry?
2 sisters and a brother.
Oh, okay, but mainly girls. Okay. Where does the J name come into all this, J?
Oh my god. Jay? That's
Yeah.
Jay.
Is that you?
My brother Jay. Passed.
It's passed on? Thank you. In a very sort of abrupt way, why do I feel he wants to say sorry? Does that make sense to you? Do you have something wrong with his head here? Now, I wasn't sure if this was suicide when he came through, or brain tumour, or something like that. You understand me? Something to do with his head.
Yeah.
Because he made me feel sad, he made me feel depressed. Would he have been a little bit older than this girl?
Yeah.
Like 20s or something like this? And you didn't get to say goodbye to him? And he's been gone a while now? 3-4 years? Less than that. But it was to do with his head. I don't know if he suffered a fit or there was something where epileptic, something like this, and he went. I don't feel anyone was there for him at the time. I thought he might have been at home or somewhere where he was up. So I'd have him in a flat or upstairs or how this would have been. That feels early in the week to me, like a Monday, Tuesday time. Would that be right? Okay. But your parents are here.
Yeah.
Has there been a divorce between them or a separation? Then go back to the... Oh, you're the mum. No, I want to go back. I want to leave you. I want to go back to the young girl. Had her parents separated or something?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm having to get them to just box in here. So there'd be another child apart from Joe and this young lady? You have other children?
No.
And Joe's your son? Okay, but did you lose or miscarry?
Yeah.
You lost one, as in lost. Then you've got 3 kids. And I thought it was 2 boys and a girl. Okay. What's so important about April? They keep running me to April. Now, if it's not to do with your Joe, it's to do with this young girl. And who's like Emily, Emma, where's this sort of name? E. This side of life. I'm just going to ask the young girl to cut away so I can work with your son. Is that all right for you? I know they're both important. And this is your sister's girl?
That's my mum.
Yep, but the little girl
Yeah.
is your mum's sister? Okay. Is there a tattoo in Joe's memory? Or he had a tattoo, possibly? No. If he was going to tattoo, I mean, I've got loads, but I feel there was something with a tattoo here. He always wanted a tattoo. And did he pass close to someone's birthday? Say 2 weeks?
Yeah, my daughter.
Thank you. Now you're still with his dad?
Yeah.
You agree with that? Did he work for his dad at one time? Or there was like, is your husband self-employed? Or a manual way?
Yeah.
Like a builder or like a roofer? Like a carpenter, but builder. Did your son work for him at times? Off and on. To me, he comes back as a very chilled lad. And all I can see is headphones on. Is he heavily into music or?
Yes.
You understand that? Okay. Was he actually like a Joseph or?
Yeah. Joseph.
But just Joe, J-O? Hmm. He had a girlfriend?
He used to make out he did.
He used to make out he did. Is he, I felt he was cremated. Is that, he's buried. And you still visit the grave. Was he into football? Then who supports Man United or a team in red?
My partner.
Your partner's Man U. You said you have a daughter. Do you have another child as well?
No.
Just the one. Then I continue with a son. And I see Joe will be in his name somewhere. I don't know why he's gone on to talk about apple trees. You've got to talk about
There you go. Amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing.
Obviously, it's a short clip, but it's obviously a small insight of how you do it. But is it different every time, or is it generally the same way it works?
Well, I've had people come through from every plane crashes, have died in plane crashes, suicides, cancers, heart attacks, murdered. I think every possible way there is to pass across, I've covered. Yeah, what I wanted people to understand in those clips is I always explain to the audience beforehand that the only time I'll ever ask them a question is when if they shout a name at me. And apart from that, everything's a statement. So when you say, was it a Tuesday? I'm saying, I believe it was a Tuesday. Is it? And so the crowd know that, and they just answer yes or no. And I think the lady there was a bit overwhelmed with it, but you can see she was nodding her head to, I think, about 98% of everything I said. So that's just how it works. And people come up afterwards and say, it was lovely. It's brought comfort, and that's the greatest thing when you heal someone, heal a broken heart, or especially if you get a parent that wasn't very loving. And they come through and just say, look, it wasn't I didn't love you, it's just that was my way, or they had some sort of maybe a drink problem or a depression problem or something like that. But of course, when you get to the other side, although you'll come back to show me you had those conditions, you don't have those conditions, if you see what I mean. It's all very clean in the spirit world, and you don't suffer the pain anymore. It's a pain-free existence. You leave all that behind, so...
That's nice to know. It's nice to know.
It's lovely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But see, this is what I wanted to sort of showcase you about. For people that haven't heard of you or don't believe in this sort of thing or are not sure about it. I want people to go to your shows. I want people to go to your website and see what you're more about. Read the book as well.
Yeah.
But Amy, have you got something you wanted to just plug there?
Yeah, just a little segue actually. We've got some artistry and sculpture and vintage and collections and amazing things going on local to us in Braintree. Find a fabulous artist called Julie who has organised this event. It's being held at the Barn at the Hare and Hounds in Braintree. The postcode of which I'll put all these details on here, but it's a pop-up exhibition on the 19th and 20th of September. It's 12 till 6 p.m. There's furniture and what else have we got on here? There's an exhibition there And this is quite, if you're into your art, this is interesting. It's a correspondence in concrete, and it's called Captured Souls. The human condition, individuality, duality, order versus chaos, social mobility, equality and change. So there's lots going on. There's vintage toys, there's artwork, there's abstract sculpture, there's so much. And it is local, and it is so important to us here at the Toast Train. We try and do it with our music here to support local music, local musicians and artists. So it'd be great if you're at a loose end on the 19th and 20th of this month that you can go along to the barn at the Hare and Hounds and go and support local artists.
Wickedy. So before we leave, Ron, so once again, if you want to go and check out your stuff, like where do people go?
Yeah, you can go on Facebook page. I've got two. One, Ronald Buckingham, and the other one is the biggest one. Yeah, is medium Ronnie Buckingham. So go on there.
I'm going to put a link to your professional pages on here so that anyone who wants to contact you, either with us or moved on, can contact you.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to go and book a reading with them, Ronnie is doing readings at the moment. So don't be afraid to get in touch. Even if you are sitting on the fence a little bit, you might be a little bit curious, you might be a little bit fearful, but absolutely do it. Just do it.
Speaking of the fence, I would love, Ron, as not tonight obviously, but like at some point before the next podcast, if you could do something with Amy to see if you can make her a believer.
Yeah,
I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer. I'm just me.
You need to see for yourself.
Well, that's I think that is something I'm very, very proud of. That I've converted so many people that were complete and utter skeptics.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm a skeptic.
Just looking at the reviews in the book, and there's so many people that said they never believed in any of this until they come to me, or they had a private reading. And and I've read for bereavement clubs as well. One came
That's
from
very interesting. I was going to ask about that.
All to do with the loss of children, and there was a dozen, and I read all 12, and all 12 said unbelievable. So with very unusual clues.
Awesome. Right. So listen, we've got another bit of music coming up by Nathan Thomas in a second. But if you're listening on the podcast, we're not going to be showing Ron's because it's a video on the podcast, but we are going to be showing it on Facebook. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, just head to our Facebook page, Toast Train TV, and just go to the end of this episode's video, and you'll be able to see Ron's spirit walk. But for those of people on YouTube and Facebook, you can be able to see it right now. So before we exit, Ron, what is a spirit walk?
Yeah, a spirit walk is basically you need to be somewhere very quiet, away from the kids.
So this is what you do in bed or something?
Yeah, you can do it in bed or any time. You can do it any time of day, but you just need to be quiet without interruption. Turn your phones off, and then basically you just sit, you listen to my voice, and you imagine what I'm telling you to imagine. So when I take people through, I get people to feel things. I don't know which one we're going to do, but I've done several.
It's the one we did here.
Okay, that might have been. I don't know if that's the hot air balloon or which.
No, that was the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah.
So I try and tell people that when I say to you, you're walking on grass and the grass is damp and the grass comes between your toes, feel it, absolutely feel it, because you're listening to my voice and I'm guiding you through somewhere. And basically what I do is I take you somewhere, and then I leave you, and you meet your loved ones, your spirit loved ones. And I think the last one I did, I think it was 480 people said it was the greatest experience.
This is very interesting because I knew we were going to be bolting the spirit walk onto the end of this, but I hadn't previously spoken to Ronnie or Rob about it. But just from what you're describing there is fascinating for me because the power of the mind and the way that our brains work absolutely fascinates me. And when I was pregnant, I was determined to have a home birth, and so I did a course in hypnobirthing.
Yep.
And a lot of that is it's a form of guided meditation and visualization and that kind of thing. And without having done that course, I mean, you know, birth is a glorious thing. Sometimes women suffer from trauma. Sometimes it's very, very, very spiritual. I wanted it to be as spiritual as possible, and I wanted to be as calm and collected and just cool as possible. And I did that. And so I did a lot of visualization. I did a lot of, mine was forests, walking through forests. And that's how I did it. And I was able to have my little boy in the conservatory on a Tuesday afternoon, and it was fabulous. So what you're describing is you no matter
This
who,
is what
it doesn't matter whether you're a skeptic or not. It's got nothing to do with believing or not believing. But the power of the mind is so glorious that if you just let yourself be calm, be still, and go to those places, you can achieve incredible things, like having a baby with no drugs in your conservatory on a Tuesday afternoon.
I'll take your word for that one. But no, with mine, as I say, I get people to feel, to sense, and I just put them into that frame of mind where they're open to see spirit. They're not trying to do it. They don't know what's at the end of it, and it happens just naturally. But the results have been absolutely phenomenal.
And I can because I've been on that beach. I've been in that hot air balloon, and I have been in that forest because I took myself there.
Yeah.
And it's so achievable. It's so achievable. And if you get nothing from it in a met me granddad type thing, what you will achieve is the most pleasant sense of calm.
Exactly.
And it is an incredible way to de-stress. And anybody who has led a chaotic life and has learnt to meditate and breathe properly will know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's got a little bit got nothing to do with meeting your granddad, but more to do about being in control of yourself and learning how to breathe and be at one with yourself.
It's a beautiful experience. And I say a lot of people saw family members, not just one or two, but many family, and just felt the love and actually felt the holding and the physical side of it as well, and come back in a different state of mind.
Well, look, you're going to get to try it for yourselves, guys. If you watch the end of this Facebook video, like I said, if you're on Spotify, just head over to our Facebook and check out the video, or just look up Ronnie Buckingham's Spirit Walk. You know, they're on YouTube and stuff. So before we dive out, just want to do our sponsors bit. Ad, do you want to kick us off? Got your mic?
Well, certainly can. OC Media Solutions, anything, laptop, iPhones, computers, upgrades, websites, everything you can do with a computer, we take care of. www.ocm.solutions.
Fabulous. Okay, and another very important sponsor that we have here on the Toast Train is parcelbroker.co.uk. All of the mainstream, well-known household names in the courier industry getting your goods delivered from A to B. If you want the best rates in sending your parcels, you need to head to parcelbroker.co.uk.
All right, and if you need anything printed on anything, that's canvases, like paper, or like our brick wall we've got behind us here, a lovely canvas brick wall, then simply go to Braintree Printing Company. The number is 01376 345 915. The website www.braintreeprinting.co.uk, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. That's Braintree Printing Company. Now, Ron, you've been a brilliant guest. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
We're going to go to a little bit of music first by a guy called Nathan Thomas. And then we're going to have your Spirit Walk straight after that. So do stick around. There's more to come. And thank you very much. If you've enjoyed the show, then please give us a like, give us a share. If you're a band or an artist and want your music on the show, or just a bit of knowledge you want us to share, you know, if you've got an event or something, we're all for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And thank you very much for sending in your comments and your questions to Ronnie. It's been a fantastic episode and we have had a great time.
Let's hear it for Ronnie Buckingham, everybody. So coming up right now, we've got Nathan Thomas with Namaste, produced by Mark Rapson. And if you like what you hear, you can go to @Futuristica Music. And of course, stick around for Ronnie's video afterwards. That's the show.
Just before we do that.
Oh, that's not the show.
No.
We've forgotten something, Twigs.
We did. It's
Have I?
competition time.
Time.
Oh, my apologies.
God damn it.
I nailed the ending as well. Then.
I know, it was so beautiful.
I know, such a natural ending. But very quickly, competition time. The other day we posted up on our Facebook page the competition where you can win a limited edition 4-in-1 gaming set. So get on Facebook, take a look. The question is, on episode 7 with Russ Rogers, what was the make of the guest bread?
The brand.
The brand, yeah.
Okay, cool. The bread brand.
What was the bread brand as the guest host on episode 7 with
Is that
Russ
brown
Rogers?
bread brand or?
Yeah. So yeah, get on Facebook,
Very
comment,
funny.
like, and share, and also go to youtube.com/The Toast Train.
Cool.
There we go.
That's it. Cheers, Ty Lovely. See you later.
Namaste, my son. One day this will all be yours. Our Father reassures, I give you peace as it's the least that I might do for you. That I might do for you is to discern the truth between the lines. There's a joy that you will find if you say namaste and shine. Stay and shine. Say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. And the good in you shall find. You bring from her what you deserve. From barren land you'll grow and reap what you sow. And if it's not in God's plans, but you gave it a chance, you gave the best of, you gave the best of, in the hope that she would too. And when it goes right, there's a joy that you will find if you say namaste and shine. And the good in her you'll find if you say namaste and shine. Say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. And the good in you shall find if you say namaste and shine. Say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. And the good in her you'll find if you say namaste and shine. Say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. And the good in you shall find. Say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. If you say namaste, say namaste, say namaste, say namaste. If you say
Hi friends, Ronnie Buckingham here, and I'm about to take you on a spirit walk too. Now, for all of you that watched the first and participated in the first spirit walk, thank you very much for the kind feedback. It went down well. I'm going to go through the mechanics of it all again for those that haven't seen it before, or a refresher for those that have seen it before. Now, first of all, what I've got to stress is that you need to listen to my voice and do and feel what I say. So if I say feel the breeze on your face or something under your hands, something under your feet, I really, really need you to feel that. Now, the conscious mind will always kick in sometimes through meditations, and this is a very light meditation, but with a difference. And the conscious mind will be the one that tells you, oh, the husband's coming home from work, or the kids need feeding, or there's something to do. Now, what you've got to do is put all that aside, and you've got to completely imagine that this day is absolutely free. Now, there's nothing wrong at all with this day. You feel great in yourself. The kids are being well looked after, husband being well looked after. Everything is good. You've got no job to go to, no housework to do. This is totally your day. And I'm going to take you on this beautiful, beautiful journey. Listen to what I say, follow what I say. Now, the first thing we need to do is find somewhere nice and quiet, and we can sit, lay, close your eyes. Now, the first thing I want you to do is take a few really, really deep breaths. Maybe just shake your hands a little bit, that sort of thing. Loosen the body up. Be relaxed. This is your day. You've nothing to worry about. Everything is cool. Now, just lay, close your eyes, listen to what I've got to say, and feel it. So, We're starting now, and in your mind, I want you to be in a lovely guest house right by the coast. And as you look out the window of your guest house, the sea, the beach is directly opposite. You get up of a morning feeling wonderful. That's it, you feel fantastic. You go and have a nice shower, nice bath, dress lightly. It's very, very warm out there. Just a pair of shorts, loose top, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You don't need shoes and socks. You want to feel that sand between your toes later on. So we slip down to the front door. There's no one about. No one about. Everything's quiet. Down. Now, down the first few steps onto the pavement. And I want you to... There's no soul about because it's your day. That's all you need to remember. This is your day. Now, we look left and right just to make sure, but everything's cool. Everything's cool. We cross the road onto the next pavement, and in front of you there's the seawall. I want you to just put your hands on the seawall to look over the seawall at the sea and take in the sights and sounds. Just give that a second or two doing that. Big, big breaths of fresh air, that lovely, saucy fresh air that you can taste. It goes right to the stomach. Now, I want you to turn to your left 20 paces. Feel that pavement, nice and warm, not hurting your feet. It just feels lovely. Just feels lovely, nice and calm. There's a little turning to your right there, and that is the entrance to the stairs that go down to the beach. It's got a metal rail to the side of it. I want you to grasp the metal rail just lightly. It's only going to just save your balance, that's all it is. And I want you to walk down these steps. Now, some of these steps have got a little bit of sand on them, but they're quite safe. And you just get that buzz. It's almost like a very, very fine sandpaper beneath your feet as you go down. About a dozen steps. Down we go. Down we go. And onto the sand. And we just start walking. Looking about, there's not a soul around. Now, this sand's very, very golden. It's very, very soft. And it really gets under your feet. You can feel it go between your toes. But the strange thing is, it doesn't seem to hold you down. You seem to, although you can feel it, you're sort of floating across it, if that makes sense to you. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And I just want you to walk. Big breaths, smells, take the air in. Seagulls, the sea, you're listening to that. It's quite lovely, but not another soul around. Now, as you walk on, again, keep feeling this sand under your feet, just nice and calm. And you start to remember childhood holidays with loved ones. You go back to remembering building sandcastles, having them kicked over by your brother or your sister, or maybe strangers, I don't know. But rebuilding them, getting them just right. Then you dig a little moat round that sandcastle, a little bucket and spade, and you're running down to the sea to get bucketfuls of water to come back and fill the moat up. Boom, it disappears, so back to the sea again. And it just brings back wonderful, wonderful memories of being a child and being there with your brothers and sisters, or just brothers or just sisters, but with loved ones. The smells are familiar, the sights are familiar. I know that excitement you have when you were kids and you're free and there's no troubles in the world. Well, that's how it is for you today. You haven't got any troubles. Everything's smooth. That's the way it is. Now, I just want you to keep walking along this sand. Now, as you're walking along, the tide's coming in very gently and you can just hear it lapping onto the sand. And you look across and you decide you're going to walk onto the sand that's a little bit more compact where the waters run onto it. And that's the way you go. And you go off and now you're walking on that slightly more solid sand. And you start to feel like a child again, in truth. Just like a little boy or a little girl. And you start to dig the heel in when you walk and then just roll it over so it's coming onto your toes. And there's that little bit of muddy sand just clinging between the toes. But it feels wonderful. Now, as you're walking along, you start looking at your footprints in the sand. And something very young and daft in your mind tells you to spin round and walk backwards slightly. So you're walking backwards and you're looking at where you've been, but you're going in the opposite direction. So just do that for a little while, walking in the sand. I don't think you're digging in with your heel, rolling that foot forward and onto your toes. So it's making quite weird footprints. Then turning around, walking backwards. I don't know if you intend to confuse people that you've been walking both ways, but you find it funny. And that's lovely. You're still feeling very, very light, very, very happy. Just a beautiful, beautiful day, and you're having fun. And you feel safe and you feel secure. Now, as you look down, you notice at your feet some of this wet sand on there, a little bit, you know the way it is, but it's comfortable. But you being you, you're going to go down into the sea. Only gently, let the waves lap across your feet and just wash that away. Now that's what you're doing. You're walking along, and again you're feeling very mischievous today, like a young child, as if you're a youngster again. And you go in a little bit deeper, sort of up to the ankles, and you start kicking your feet out, kicking the spray up into the air. Some of it blows back into your face, and I want you to feel that gentle sea breeze and that little few drops of seawater that just come back and run down in front of you and on your face. And you just carry that up, just carry on, then back onto the solid sand. You're having a great day, just walking on, listening to the seagulls. Now you're looking up towards over the seawall back, but there's not a soul about. Not a soul about. The strange thing is, you can remember smells from years ago, maybe candy floss or hot dogs or some chips, but they're all lovely, lovely memories. And you just breathe all that in, and your mind just rolls back and rolls back and rolls back. It's a lovely, lovely warm day, and I want you to feel the sun just gently on you, on your head, top of your head. You're not going to burn. It's not that sort of hot, but it's just wonderful. Now, as you're walking along, you notice that in front of you coming up, there's one of the wooden breakers, the wave breakers there, that goes from the far side of the beach right down into the water's edge. You don't feel like climbing over it, so you're going to walk round it, which means you're just going to go a little deeper into the water, but maybe just up to the knees, just up to the knees. And round you go. Feel that water gets a little bit colder, but nothing to worry about. That little bit colder. You actually quite like it. So there you are, plodding on through this slightly deeper water. Again, kicking your feet up. You go on for a little while, then decide just to move on back to the solid sand again. And you notice, as you look down, obviously seashells are there. And I want you to bend down and pick up some of these seashells. Feel the texture in your hands. Then you find one and you put it to your ear so you can hear that hiss, that beautiful hiss, as we used to do, of the sea. Don't really need it because you're hearing the waves and the gulls and all the other beautiful noises that we associate with that. Just keep walking along, just enjoying it, just strolling. You don't feel fatigued at all. It seems as if you're floating. In fact, you look down and you wonder why your footprints aren't as heavy as they should be. They're very, very slight indentations. And it makes you smile because you just feel so light and so at ease. Breathing nicely, breathing nicely. This really is a beautiful day for you. And it's so tranquil. No worries in the world. You're completely carefree. And as we go along, there's yet another wave breaker. And we decide this time we're going to climb over it, but at the very shortest point. Now, as you get up to it, there's that green sort of seaweedy slime that's on it. But it doesn't feel bad, but feel it under your hands. And it brings back memories of maybe rock pools when you were a kid and trying to catch crabs and things like that. And this same green algae that we get on your fingers and hands. You feel like a kid. This is what it's all about. You feel like a child again. And I want you to just hold on to it, put your one leg over, then the other leg, push off from that. Now you're back into the softer sand again. And this is the amazing thing. You seem to be skimming over it. Just skimming over it, like you're floating. But it's a lovely feeling. It doesn't put you into panic or anything like that. You don't really think about it. You just notice it. And you are just floating, just gently going across this sand. There are the slightest footprints, but they're nowhere as deep as they should be. Now, as you're walking along, this is one deserted beach, but in the distance, far off, you can see some people sitting by the sea wall. Doesn't bother you, but there's something there that makes you think, I've been here before. And even though you're several hundred yards away from this group of people, there's something about them that draws you to them and makes you feel, I know them. I know them very, very well. I'm not sure who they are, but I know them. And you get closer, and you get closer, and it's drifting. You're just drifting. It's a beautiful sensation. And you find that you're drifting more and more towards these people. It's almost automatic, as if you're not aware of doing it. It's just happening. So you're being guided. And you're getting quite close now to these people. So you're getting very close now. Some of these people are starting to stand. And you're beginning to recognise people now. People that you thought you'd never see again. Maybe they thought they'd never see you again. But now they're standing. They're all starting to rise. Dusting sand down from their dresses and trousers. And their arms are opening and they're just beckoning you forward into an embrace. And I'm going to take you right up and into that embrace. There's tears of joy running down their faces and smiles from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful, wonderful feeling. And you realise these are your loved ones. These are your loved ones. I'm taking you nearer, nearer, nearer to these loved ones. And I'm going to leave you in the embrace because this is your time, not mine. This is your time. And I'm going to leave you within that love and within that embrace. And I'm going to leave you there to enjoy this and catch up with people that you thought you may never see again. God bless you. I'll come back for you in a little while. Enjoy your day. Okay, so I'm going to start to bring you back. This is the time to say your goodbyes, and you'll see them again, sort of times, because you know you will. This is never goodbye. There's always, I'll see you later. I hope this has been a wonderful experience for you. Now, you're having to pull away from grasps and cuddles and endearments, and you're still uttering them endearments as you leave. They may even decide to walk a little bit up the beach with you. Just slowly, slowly, holding hands. Their hands are slipping away, and you're just moving away, back the way you came. Stopping to look over your shoulder. They're still there, waving away. They look so happy and relaxed. They look young again, much younger than you remember them. And they're happy. They're very happy. And to have seen you is really the icing on the cake. So now we're going back onto the more compact sand, picking up some more seashells and memories, going back towards the wave breakers. You decide you're going to walk round that one, you're going to climb over it anymore. You're feeling a little bit tired now, but not tired in the sense of heavy tired, just emotionally tired, because it has been some trip for you. And just walking out into the water, it's got that a little bit deeper now, so maybe just over the knees, but on such a hot day like this, and after all what you've seen and all what you've been through, it's a lovely, lovely feeling. It just cools the whole body down and you feel amazing. There's no regrets, because there's no goodbyes. It's just your day, and it continues to be your day. Your memories will be made of this, with lots and lots of memories to come. So head back now, head back onto the hard sand, just on the water's edge. The water's still just lapping over your feet, very, very gently. You feel wonderful still. You've still got the whole day in front of you. We're going back and back. And round the second sea break, moving up into the soft sand, moving along the soft sand. You've noticed now that after the experience of meeting your loved ones, that your footprints are that little bit deeper. But it's not heavy again, you're fine. And you're not tired, there's no pain, you're not out of breath. It's just amazing for you. And now we're coming up to the steps. And I want you to mount those steps and start your way up those steps. Half a dozen steps, just keep going up. Now don't forget you're barefoot, and when you get to the top, I want you to just put one hand on the wall, raise one leg, and with your hand just dust the sand off. And the same with the other foot. Then back out onto the pavement, back along, stopping opposite the guest house where this journey first started. Taking you back across the road, looking each way, that's you. Back into the guest house, back up the steps, in the door into the guest house. There's still not a soul about. And you just feel that you've got to go and have a lay down. So I want you to go back up to the bedroom, up the steps. You can feel the carpet under your feet this time. And the banister to the right. Keep feeling. You're feeling wonderful. You've still got so much time on your hands, because this is still your day. And I just want you to go up. Get to your bed. Lay down. Close your eyes and just think about the experience you just had. And know that there is no death. There's no permanent goodbyes. There's just eternal love, eternal life, and joy to be had. And you have and you will see your loved ones again. I hope you've enjoyed this journey. God bless you. Stay safe and stay well. Now, if by chance this didn't work for you, please give it another go. Just keep going until it does work, and work it will. Thanks for listening. God bless you once again. Ronnie Buckingham.
Whoa, put the kettle on.
I bet you were wondering what the hell is the Toast Train Show? It's mostly waffling about the things that we probably don't know. Can't hurt to join us and see where this random chit chat goes. strange show.
Oh, lovely cup of tea.
Thank you.